Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now December 20th of 2020, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2, a lot of fans around the world have very much been looking ahead of the Star Wars universe and exactly where things are going by Dave Filoni, George Lucas, Jon Favreau, you name it. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one exciting aspect about the future of the Star Wars universe is that we have, of course, like I say, George, Jon, and Dave working together as a team to really deliver as much authentic material as possible. That's exactly what they are aiming for. They want to bring back a handful of Star Wars legends. They want to focus on key characters such as, for example, Grogu, Ahsoka Tano, Ezra Bridger, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Kenobi, and that's just to name a few right there. And that's just the very beginning, essentially. So what's even all the more exciting is what Jon Favreau has planned for The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4, which, by the way, are being worked on back-to-back, not to be confused with the Book of Boba, which is going to be a mini-series, give or take 4 episodes, maybe 5 at most. It's going to be a mini-series that's going to eventually tie in to Season 3 of Mando. Now, there's something very exciting about The Mandalorian Season 3 and what's happening by Jon Favreau. By the way, Season 3 is being worked on right now as we speak. A lot of work has been done for the 3rd season already, and there's a lot of talk out there that they want to actually release the Book of Boba and Mando Season 3 very close to each other in order for them to actually tie together. So that's going to be a very interesting transition. It could very well be that they're going to drop the Book of Boba in, like I say, its actual release date that it got, and then have The Mandalorian Season 3 taking place, or releasing a little bit before or maybe even after. So they're still trying to figure that out, exactly what's going to work best. Now, with that being said, given that The Mandalorian Season 2 is now over, Disney and Lucasfilm are primarily focused on their new Star Wars universe with their key characters in the mix as well. It's described that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are hard at work on The Mandalorian Season 3, which is set to have a time jump multiple years ahead that will showcase Grogu's progression throughout his training with Luke Skywalker at his Jedi training temple and new generation of Jedi. It's noted that Favreau is planning to introduce a young Ben Solo in the Mando Season 3 and 4 series, and that Favreau is actually set to tap into Ben Solo's training as a Jedi as well. Further, it's noted that Favreau has been developing a side story to involve Luke, Grogu, and Ben Solo to have a handful of scenes together in Season 3 and 4, which are being done back-to-back for the fandom. Now, Finn Wolfhard is currently in the position to take the role of a young Ben Solo that will tap into his days of conflict that was only briefly tapped into within the comics back in 2019. The time jump by Favreau is a way for him to insert Ben Solo in the mix of the new Star Wars universe for the fans to enjoy. Now let's stop right there for a second. A lot of this has to do with George Lucas and his input on the Star Wars universe. Now, let's not forget that George is working close with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau to make things right for the Star Wars fans. This really does speak volumes. This tells us that Disney has a lot of ambition. They know what the fans want to see. They want to see more of the Skywalkers, and wow, are they really delivering? We saw this happen at the very end of Season 2 with Luke Skywalker's introduction, and now they're planning to introduce Solo. So they're doing a lot of things here for the future of Star Wars and exactly how it's going to unravel for the overall universe and more. Now, on top of all of this, what's even all the more exciting is that they are planning to introduce more about Grogu's training, and there is going to be a time jump in Season 3. This makes a lot of sense. In fact, if you guys look at the very ending of Mando Season 2, it's almost sort of like the ending of Empire Strikes Back, where you have a band of characters grouping up together, kind of like when, Luke, Leia, 3PO, R2, etc. group up together to watch the Millennium Falcon leaving. Here we have Bo-Katan, the Mandalorian, and others out there grouped up watching Luke Skywalker taking the child away. And it's almost a parallel to what we saw in The Empire Strikes Back. And now we're seeing a similar scenario with Mando Season 3, jumping ahead a couple of years. We're not quite sure how many just yet, but it's enough to include Ben Solo in the mix as a young adult and/or teen. So that's going to be a big deal for a lot of fans out there. So, like I say, I think that Finn Wolfhard, he looks a lot like Ben Solo. I'm just not quite sure how other fans are going to take him as the actual character. You know, some people out there don't really necessarily like him from Stranger Things. I think he's, you know, rather talented, but I'm still not quite sure. I can't judge anything before it's even put on the screen, right? As of right now, I can't say for certain if he will nail the role as Ben Solo acting-wise. Appearance-wise, I think he nails it, but acting-wise, we're going to really have to wait and see exactly how he's going to be able to pull that off. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.